every day. John McEnroe on the left of your screen, of course, that familiar face. Ivan Lendl on the right of your screen. McEnroe, a little wave to the crowd. That is a live picture that you are looking at, of course, from Paris, the French Open Championships, round of 16. The winner of this match, of course.
The match has already begun, Cliff. The match has already begun.
He's doing that every time he walks out too, and they respond.
They love him. He said that for the first time in 11 years of pro tennis, I feel the fans behind me.
There is how things have turned out. Lendl at the middle of your screen and McEnroe are playing now to play against Svensson in the quarterfinals. Take a look at their half of the field. Well, at the bottom of your screen, you see Henri Lecomte yesterday over Boris Becker. Pat Cash and Andrei Chesnikov are going to play today. We will fill you in and follow that match as things progress. And the winner of that match will play Lecomte, of course. Well, certain inevitability, I suppose, about this McEnroe-Lendl meeting, and Andrea Joyce took a look at the matchup between these two.
The last time John McEnroe and Ivan Lendl met on center court here at Roland Garros, it was 1984. The colorful McEnroe was #1 in the world. The mechanical Lendl was known as a choke. But this time, up 2-0, it was McEnroe who would choke and ultimately change the course of men's tennis. After that victory, Lendl began to transform into a champion. He went on to win 2 more French Open titles and has now held the #1 ranking for nearly 3 years. During those 3 years, McEnroe has not won a single Grand Slam event.
You know, I just came back really in the last month, so I'm not really expecting to win it, but it'd be like a dream if I could win it right now. I mean, it's something that was the most disappointing loss I ever experienced when I really should have won the tournament. So hopefully I'll be able to avenge that at some point before it's over. But if not, you know, as long as I go out there and do the best I can do, you can't do anything more than that.
John is trying to make a comeback, and I'm sure he's going to be very much up for the match. And what I have to do is make sure I play good, solid tennis, put a lot of pressure on his serve, and again, wipe out all the results from the past, because it doesn't matter who won more in the past, it matters who wins this one.
In his quest for a 3rd consecutive French Open title, Ivan Lendl has not yet been pressured here in Paris. He's won the first 3 rounds with relative ease, giving him a 14-match winning streak at Roland Garros. Meanwhile, McEnroe, after a shaky start, has managed to improve every aspect of his game here in Paris, especially his serve. But the showdown with Lendl will be the biggest test yet for the McEnroe comeback.
They're warming up. The picture that you're looking at is a live one from the French Open Tennis Championship, Stade Roland Garros, they call it. In fact, that's what they'd like you to call this championship. Instead of the French Open, they say, call us Roland Garros, the same way that the English call Wimbledon, Wimbledon. Well, it's McEnroe, number 16 seed, and Lendl, #1, in just a moment. I don't think it's overstating the case that even here in Paris, give me Noah, give me Toulon, and give me all the other great French players that have been part of this championship. But the match that they have been waiting for above all others is the one that they're about to see now, Ivan Lendl and John McEnroe. Do you disagree?
No, I feel that this, in a lot of ways, it's the final, especially for the Americans watching right now. Here's how Pesh got here. Here's how Lendl got here. He beat the Frenchman Pesh very easily, then Nicholas Kroon of Sweden, then Thierry Toulon. As you can see, he hasn't dropped a set. He only had 1 real scare. That's a tiebreaker against Toulon.
Talk about French players. I forgot to mention Henri Lecomte, and I apologize for that, because, of course, Lecomte was the man that really fired this place up. He's still in the championship, as you see some of the things that, you know, when you say born, well, he was born in Czechoslovakia, and we'll put up Czechoslovakia against his name. He'd much rather have the USA behind it. You know that. He wants to play Davis Cup for the USA. He would love to be an Olympian from the USA. He is trying to rush his citizenship through the channels that it takes to get that done. He desperately appreciates what the United States has done for him, and we'll tell you a few of the things that he said about his new home as this match progresses. That's the last time
That was a
last tournament,
five-setter.
rather.
That was a five-setter against Guillermo Perez Roldan.
It's a great match, too. Mats Wilander for the championship last year. You may remember that. He destroyed Mats, really. He also beat Wilander in the final at the US Open, the final at the Nabisco Masters in New York. John McEnroe is the number 16 seed in this championship. Wearing his long pants to start, but I judge that those will come off sometime soon. Volkov in the first round.
That was his toughest. That was his toughest round. That's when he looked absolutely the shakiest. He wasn't serving well. He wasn't coming to the net. He was moving laterally instead of forward. And he has pulled his game together so much. He only came to net 27% of the time against Volkov. And now he's coming in on absolutely everything. His service cracking at about 60%. It should really be a little bit higher if he wants to beat Lendl. But John has just played great. He beat Bergstrom, who's a tough Swedish player, and then he just destroyed Michael Chang, made him look very, very ordinary. The young, promising 16-year-old American had no chance. Oh, boy, you know, I remember so many quotes from John, that 84 French that he lost to Lendl. And John says of that match, you know, if I'd won the French, it might have changed the way everyone looks at my career. He said he was up 2-1, 4-3 in games, 40-30 on my serve. He was 5 points from the match, Cliff. And he said, I choked that French Open.
Oh, I remember that match well. I watched it enthralled by. And interestingly enough, that's what changed things around for McEnroe in his mind. There's no doubt in my mind that it also changed things for Ivan Lendl, because he had not won a Grand Slam championship until he beat McEnroe in that French final here in '84.
Well, John still had an unbelievable '84, though. As you see some more of what he did, this was last year. Boom, out to Horacio de la Pena in the very first round. He really was in no shape to play that match. This year has been so different, but '84 was John's most impressive year to my mind. I mean, he lost the French. Yeah, as he admits, he choked in that final, but he won the U.S. Open and Wimbledon. And those 2 weeks he played at Wimbledon in 1984, where I think the most glittering, that's the greatest tennis that I've ever seen anybody play. And in that Wimbledon, instead of serving at 60%, which is about where he normally serves, he got it up to 65. And as